cruise now. Wow, it's beautiful here. Okay. Look, Mama, you go first. You go first. So we're on the cruise now. I wonder what to do. Show you things? Yeah, that would be best. We're going to another seat again. The shard. Wonder what that thing is. Oh my! Mom, I showed you. There's nothing. Sorry, I was just talking to my mom because my mom doesn't like being in videos. There's not too much money. I mean, no noise here. I was about to say no money here. Wow. Oh my. Why did I even think of that? I was about to say, wow, there's no money here. Instead of saying, wow, there's not too much noise here. Oh wow. Wow. Buildings are so beautiful. Zooming out. Not just kidding. It's blurry. Wonder what to change. It's not. It's still blurry. Oh man, it's blurry. Still blurry. Gotta shake my phone. Still looking at the shot because it's beautiful. Also, did you know that there's a toilet on the tip of it? I mean, there's a toilet at the top. It's so weird. Wonder if I can do this. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I already did this before. Why am I? I did a clip of me going upstairs, but I didn't like it. I forgot to switch the camera, that's why. Oh wow. My dad's just calling my grandma. Oh look, it's London Bridge. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell that. It's London Bridge. Wait a minute. Oh, there it is. Yeah, and it's not blurry anymore. I wonder what to call this one. I'll just call it the big bubble thing. Oh wow, look, an airplane.
Close this one, please.
Okay.
It's called attention.
Also, I'm gonna end the video when when I what is it again? Oh, when I get out of the boat. Get out of the boat, I meant. And I just wasted 4 minutes not doing anything.
What is that? Don't see that one. Don't see anything.
What? You didn't hear that.
It's not wasting.
has been 5 minutes in the video. Yeah, Pringles.
Okay, ma'am.
I need some Pringles. We're still here. 6 minutes of just being in the mode while it's not moving. Yeah, it's got potassium.
Probably sugar.
Like, get rid of the pistachio. Get rid of the pistachio. That one's mommy's. Nice. We're going backwards. I think.
Take picture of Papa. No, that way.
I mean, you're not moving. Oh, did you just say goodbye after that little bit? More ASMR. What do you have that? I have vanilla. I wonder when we're gonna move.
Well, a very good afternoon to you all, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was a thoroughly underwhelming response from the top deck, wasn't it? Shall we try this again? Good afternoon to you all, ladies and gentlemen. There we go, some of you have woken up. Welcome on board the City Gamma for your cruise up to Westminster today. Now that we've left the pier, I am required by law to give you all a very quick safety announcement. Now, this isn't meant to alarm you, this is simply to inform you all that the vessel you're on, the City Gamma, is licensed by the Maritime Coast Guard Agency and the Port of London Authority. We carry a full complement of life-saving equipment on board. This comes in the forms of life jackets, life rafts and life rings. Now, in the highly unlikely event of an emergency, good luck. Just making sure you're actually listening. I'd ask that you please remain seated, remain calm, and follow strict instructions given to you by a uniformed, trained member of the crew. A little bit of housekeeping for everyone on board. If you are on the top deck, it is a seated deck. This is so the captain can have a clear field of vision as we go along the river. It's very busy here on the River Thames. He needs to see all the other boats and see what's going on. Also, there's no standing up on the seats and there's no waiting on the stairs. Again, this is for your safety. We've had people fall. We've had to call ambulances because of their injuries to send them off to hospital. I really don't want to have to go through all that again. So please, no standing on the seats, no waiting on the stairs. The half a metre you gain by standing on a seat does not make your pictures award-winningly good. Now that's out of the way, you've got two options for your cruise upriver today. Option one, the company provides you the very exciting opportunity to download an app. If you want to, you can get a leaflet from downstairs at the bar, scan the QR code on the back and it will send you to download the City Experiences app. I don't know how long that will take. We might be at Westminster by the time that downloads. But if it does download in time, you can select one of the languages and it will rattle off facts and figures in a very boring, robotic way that might send some of you off to sleep, interspersed with promotional items for the company. And then once you finish listening to them, you can delete the app, because you'll never use it again. Or option two, I can join you on the top deck live on the microphone, braving the elements with you, passing on some of the knowledge we as the crew have learnt over our many years on this river in something of a live commentary. But it's up to you folks. I'll put it to a vote and I can see you on the cameras downstairs. Do not feel left out if you're inside. So hands up for option one. That's just the captain then. Are you sick of me already? And hands up for option two. Well, you've been outvoted, skips, so I'll give it my best shots. I do have to warn you all, I'm not a paid or trained tour guide. I'm the mate on board. I'm here to keep you all safe. So if I do happen to get anything wrong along the way, please do all feel free to keep it to yourself. I also understand English is not everyone's first language, but it's the only one that I know. So I will speak slowly and clearly to help our friends visiting from overseas. I don't normally talk like this. There's nothing wrong with me. Alright? Lovely. We'll start off on the left. You may not notice it, it does have camouflage paint. That is London's very own warship, the HMS Belfast. Launched on St Patrick's Day, 1938, having been built in the very same docks as the ill-fated Titanic. Her main armament was 6 guns forward, 6 aft, all capable of firing a 100 weight shell over 14 miles. She's now permanently moored here as an extension to the Imperial War Museum. Like all these people, you can pay to go on there. Go in and out all the open hatches, up and down all the accessible ladders, exploring all 9 of her decks, from the engine room below the waterline to the captain's lookouts up at the top. It's a fantastic way to lose your children for a couple of hours. On the right, there's a building with a black and gold clock face and 6 black chimneys. That is the home of customs and excise for the United Kingdom. Any contraband found at our borders, any illegal alcohol, tobacco or narcotics, they're brought here and they're stored in their secure basement for 1 year until they are incinerated.
Exactly, no.
Allegedly. Now the captain and I have worked on this river for a very long time now, and we've never seen a single puff of smoke come out of those chimneys. But we do hear that their Christmas parties are rather spectacular.
Wait, Mummy, I know. Go back to Christmas.
On the left, Western Europe's tallest building, the Shard of Glass, over 1,000 feet tall. Inside you've got offices, shops, restaurants, the 6-star Shangri-La Hotel and Spa, and at the top, luxury apartments. The designer was an Italian man called Lorenzo Piano. He was offered £5 million for his drawing of a triangle, and he turned it down. He said instead he wanted the 4-bed penthouse suite, and they gave it to him. He lived there for a few years before selling it on to an American rapper and music producer called will.i.am. It was sold to him for a rumoured £47 million. Now the bridge ahead of us, this is the world famous London Bridge. The one we've left behind us is called Tower Bridge. This one is London Bridge. People often get the names confused. I'm going to give you all a little tip on how to remember which one's which. You see, Tower Bridge has got 2 towers, and London Bridge has the words London Bridge written on the side. It's the 5th one to have stood here. The first was built by the Romans over 2,000 years ago. The first one burnt down, the second one fell down. That's where we get the nursery rhyme, London Bridge is falling down. The last one was sinking into the mud of the Thames. It was going to be scrapped. Until an American businessman called Robert McCulloch bought the bridge for $2 million. He had every single brick numbered, taken down and shipped to the United States, where he had it rebuilt. And it still stands to this day as a tourist attraction over the man-made Lake Havasu in the Arizona desert. Now, rumour has it he got the bridges mixed up. He thought he was buying Tower Bridge. I'd have loved to have seen his face when he realised he spent $2 million on the wrong one. Now, coming up on the right, underneath the next bridge, we're coming to my personal favourite part of this journey. It's one for the grown-ups on board. Because those glass windows underneath the bridge are your chance to potentially see some semi-naked people. They belong to a 5-star health and relaxation spa, put there because there's no roads or walkways going past. But they seem to forget that every 20 minutes, someone like me comes past with a lovely group of people like you. Unfortunately, I don't think there's anyone in there at the moment, but if there was, this is what we'd do. I would point, you would all laugh and wave, and they feel very self-conscious. Now, some days are better than others. We have been known to turn around, and yesterday was a very good day. Over on the left, there's a brick building with red windows and a golden sign. That is the Anchor Tavern. It's been a pub on that site for over 400 years. Many famous people have been known to have a drink in there, like Samuel Pepys, the famous diarist. William Shakespeare, he used to use that attic as his changing room. Tom Cruise at the end of one of the Mission Impossible films. And later on this evening, me and the captain will be in there about 8:30. But what we do in there is research. The very important research we put into the commentary I'm giving you right now. We take this research very seriously. Sometimes we're in there for hours and hours and hours. It's very thirsty work. But it's a sacrifice we're willing to make for all of you. Is everyone enjoying the live commentary so far? You want me to carry on? No. Alright, can you hear me at the back? Lovely. Over on the left, there's a white and timber frame building with a thatched roof. That is the replica of William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. The original burnt down after they set off a cannon on the stage as a sound effect, and a spark set fire to the thatched roof. Now on a lovely summer's day, just like today, here in London, when you see they've raised the red flag, that means you can go in there for just £10 and you can see one of Shakespeare's plays put on in the traditional way. And if you know the price of live entertainment in London, I think you'll all agree with me. £10 for live entertainment here in London is very reasonable. Over on the right, dominating the skyline here, you have St Paul's Cathedral. Sir Christopher Wren's masterpiece. It's 365 feet tall to the top of the cross. It's the second largest unsupported cathedral dome in the world, beaten only by St Peter's. Now you can pay £23 to go in there, have a look around, learn all the history inside those walls, and they are steeped in history. You can then climb the over 500 steps to the top of the dome to the viewing balcony. I've seen people up there all day. But a bit of local knowledge for you. If you're here on a Sunday morning, it's open to the public for Mass. So it's free. Well, I say it's free, that is a church. They'll get you at the end. You'll find someone walking around with a silver champagne bucket asking for donations. Now they don't want your coins. If you put metal coins in a metal bucket during the silence of Mass, you interrupt everyone deep in silent thought and prayer. So they ask for your 5, 10, 20 and even £50 notes. It's what they like to call a silent donation. We're going against the outgoing ebb tide. You can see it rushing along either side of it. We get 2 tides every 24 hours here on the River Thames. That means the tide comes in and out twice every single day. It churns up all the mud at the bottom of the river, giving it this lovely tropical colour. Now the bridges ahead of us, we have the Blackfriars bridges. The first is the railway bridge. It's actually also the railway station. So we're about to sail directly underneath a fully functioning railway station. The second is the road and footbridge built by the Victorians. But they're better known to us that work on the Thames as the tunnels of love. It's been said if you turn to one that you love underneath these arches and give them a kiss, you'll choose 7 years of happiness. Not yet, sir, we're not underneath. There's always one. But if you're not with the one that you love, you could always turn to your husband or your wife. Single ladies, I'm very sorry, I am married. But the captain is single. So you just make a nice orderly queue. I'm sure you'll be happy to drive round and round.
He's down.
What is happening?
Over on the right, this large construction site. It's one of 13 along the banks of the Thames, part of the Thames Tideway Tunnel project. They're building the new sewage system for London. We still run on the Victorian sewage system here, which was built for the waste of 1 million people. We have more than 11 million people declared in London today, and it's regularly overflowing, polluting the Thames. Now that wasn't seen as a problem until it started to smell up at Westminster. Because we know when it's a problem for politicians, they find the budget to fix it. It's now well over that £5 billion budget and way past its due date, and I think you can all see why. Out of the 20 or so people that are working there today, none of them are actually doing anything. They're all just standing around wondering what they're going to have for their second lunch. I'm sure it'll get finished one day, who knows? But when it is finished, whenever that may be, the tunnel will be so tall that you can stack 2 double-decker buses on top of each other and they wouldn't even scrape the roof. Now on the right, we'll continue to the right. On the river wall, you'll see some green metallic lions' heads with rings in their mouths. These were put in, again, by the Victorians, but they're not for mooring up boats. That's a common misconception. They're actually part of a very early flood warning system. You can see the average high tide mark in the green moss on the wall. They said if the water surged forward on the tide and covered the Lion's Mount, that London was at risk of flooding. So the police, while walking their beat, would look over the side of the wall. If it had got to that level, they'd continue up here to this blue phone box just coming into view, the only one of its kind still left in London. They would unlock it, call the underground stations and give them a code word, ordering them to shut for fear of flood. They were taught a couple of rhymes for this. See if you can finish them with me. When the lions' heads are drinking, London surely will be sinking. Very good. If the water's up to the lions' manes, London goes down the drains. And if you know the answer to this one, keep it to yourself. We have several children on board. When the lions' heads are fully ducked, London is well and truly flooded, young man, flooded. I'm sure there's a better one. Now, ahead of us on the right, there's a black and white boat with a black awning. That is the former royal barge, the St Catherine. Back in the days, any time the royal family wanted to come out on the River Thames, that is the boat that they would have used. They now have a much newer, much nicer barge called the Gloriana that was custom built for Queen Elizabeth II for her Jubilee pageant on the river. Now the Gloriana is reserved for King Charles and Prince William. When Harry comes back to London, they make him take that one. Because it's spare. Too soon? Just before the next bridge, you'll see a lifeboat station. That is the busiest lifeboat station in the world. Last year they had over 750 call-outs. They've just reinstalled this one. They took the old one away for refurbishment, put this one in. Cost £10 million. But it's well worth the money. They do a fantastic job trying to keep us as safe as they can on the River Thames. And the bridge ahead of us, that is Waterloo Bridge. It's better known as the Ladies' Bridge. Well, most of the men were fighting during the Second World War. It was the ladies that kept this nation going. They built this bridge and they came under enemy fire from above. Whilst doing so, there are still actually bullet marks on the front. Now, it's the longest bridge to span the upper reaches of the River Thames, and it's the only bridge in this great river's history ever to have been built both on time and under budget. So well done to the ladies. On the right, the building with the green roof, that is the very expensive Savoy Hotel. The cheapest room in there is about £1,000 for the night, and that's a room that faces the road, not the river. If you want to stay in the Royal Suite underneath that flagpole on New Year's Eve, it will set you back over £20,000 for the night. But don't feel too bad for them. It does come with a complimentary full English breakfast with 2 sausages. On the right, the stone obelisk standing up there. It's the oldest thing you'll see on our journey today, over 3,500 years old. That is Cleopatra's Needle. It was given to us by a very thankful Egyptian government, or at least that's what we like to tell people, after our victory over the French at the Battle of the River Nile. They're built in pairs. The twin to this, its sister, sits in Central Park, New York City. And ahead of us, we have the Charing Cross Railway Bridge and the 2 Jubilee footbridges, one either side. Now, what we like to do is a tradition that we have on board this boat. My friend the captain has a wicked sense of humour. He likes to honk the horn as we get quite close, wake the people on the bridge up a bit. And if you're on the top deck, give the people up there a wave, see if they wave back. Alright folks, little wave. It's very important you get people to wave on these bridges, it's for your safety. Because if they're waving at us, they can't throw anything at us. You think I'm joking? We'll try again on the other side. There's another bridge here. Afternoon, hello. Oh, what nice people. Now don't worry if, like that gentleman up there, some people didn't wave back. It just means he's from London and he's miserable. On the left, the large observation wheel, the London Eye. Built in the year 2000 for British Airways. It's now owned by the Merlin Entertainment Group. That's 32 individual pods. That's not a random number. They represent the 32 boroughs that we have here in London. It was only meant to stand there for 5 years. It's still here to this day for one very good reason. Money. It was leaked during the COVID lockdowns that on its busiest day in the peak of summer it can bring in a profit in excess of £250,000 per day. When this was leaked, a petition went to the government to have the name changed from the London Eye to the Wheel of Fortune. The latest craze here at Waterloo is to get married inside one of those pods on the London Eye. But I wouldn't recommend it, folks. Marriage. You start at the bottom with 20 or so of your closest friends and family saying your vows as you go up to the top. At the top, for all the money that you've paid, they stop the eye for 60 seconds. They pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Aww. And then, much like marriage, it's all a bit downhill from there. On the right, these are all government buildings filled with very important people. The one with the green roofs, that is the home of the Ministry of Defence, our armed forces. The one ahead of that is New Scotland Yard, the home of Special Branch. But if you were to go a couple of streets inland from here, you would come across COVID lockdown's #1 nightclub location. Number 10, Downing Street. Because we know it's one rule for us, another rule for them.
Almost fading down now.
And ahead of us, I'm sure you all think you can see Big Ben from here, don't you? But actually, you can't. Big Ben is the name of the bell inside that town. It's 13.5 tons, rings on the hour every hour, and on the hour alone. The bells you hear throughout the rest of the day are called the chimes of Westminster. The tower itself was renamed a few years ago after our last and longest reigning monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. That is called the Elizabeth Tower. And behind it you have the Houses of Parliament, the Palace of Westminster. It's the second palace to have stood here. The first one was made of wood, and where Guy Fawkes failed, 2 drunk politicians succeeded. They're having a drink inside one of the bars inside there. They got into an argument, they turned into a fight, and they knocked over a flaming torch which burnt the palace to the ground. Who would have thought, eh? Politicians drinking at work. And behind it you can just make out Westminster Abbey. This is where the King had his coronation only a few months ago. Now the captain and I, we were both working on one of these very boats on the day of the coronation. And unbeknownst to us, we had a special treat in store that day. You see, the King's Yeoman Warden, the beefeaters, the ones that live at the Tower of London, they wear the red tunics and the tights, they're the King's bodyguards. They couldn't get their lift back from the coronation in their coach because it was stuck in traffic. So the Master at Arms walked down that very pier, he turned to me at the gate and he said, "Please, can I have a lift home?" I said, "Absolutely, sir, not a problem." So we had 6 of the King's Yeoman Warden, his own bodyguards, on the boat in full regalia. Tunics, tights, swords, spears, medals still pinned to their chest. All downstairs at the bar, drinking. In the half hour it took us to get to the Tower of London, they'd all had 4 pints. I think the coronation had been a slightly stressful day for them. We're about to make our way into our next stop, Westminster, for the Houses of Parliament and Westminster Abbey. If you have one-way tickets, bus tickets, or this is your stop, this is where you leave us. If you are leaving us here, please remain seated while we come alongside the pier. When you come alongside a pier here in London, it is a contact sport. There may be a small bump as we come alongside the pier, and I don't want anyone falling over and injuring themselves. It would ruin your day and mine. Mainly because I can barely read or write, so the paperwork takes ages.
I want to take a ride back.
If you are leaving us here, please have a good look round where you're seated. Make sure you take everything with you that you brought today. your phones, your wallets, your bags, your passports, your husbands, your wives, other people's husbands, other people's wives, and your children. Please take all of your children, not just the ones that you like. You won't believe how many kids get left behind here. It's truly shocking. We have to take them home at the end of the day. I've got 5 indoors at the minute. None of them speak English. Dinner time is extremely stressful, so please take all of your children. And a couple of words about the commentary I've been giving you on the way here. As I said to you at the beginning, I'm not a paid or trained tour guide, I'm the mate on board. I'm here to keep you all safe. We don't charge you in the price of your ticket for a live commentary, as it simply wouldn't be fair. Because as I look around your beautiful faces here on the top deck today, and those I can see on the cameras downstairs, I can tell that some of you have not understood a single word that I've been saying. But if you have understood, you've been informed, hopefully a little bit entertained, and you wish to show an appreciation for my efforts, you're more than welcome to. As you leave the boat today, downstairs at the exit next to me will be the captain's silver champagne ice bucket. That's our tip bucket, folks. You can put anything in you like, a couple of bob. If you don't know what a couple of bob means, it's a good job I'm here to help. It's your pound coins, £50 notes, $100 bills, €500 notes, Rolex watches, bottles of beer, keys to Lamborghinis, and single ladies' telephone numbers for the captain. Anything you do put in there is purely voluntary, as were my few words. But just remember this as you walk past that bucket downstairs at the exit next to me. I'm the one who helps you over the gap. So yes, sir, we do accept silent donations. Anything you put in there is greatly appreciated, and it doesn't go to waste. It all gets reused and recycled in the very important research that we'll do later on tonight in the Anchor Tavern. Thank you very much for listening, folks. This next stop is Westminster. I hope you've enjoyed my few words. I hope you have a fantastic time for the rest of your stay in sunny London. And, as always, God save the King. Oh, thank you very much.
It's like, wait, we have a queen. We have a queen now. I want to marry. Mama, look a bird. Mama, say hi.
That's enough na.
Mama, look at the bird behind you. Up.
£3 bill, you know. £3.
Let's see how far we went. Wow, that announcement took lots of times. This is gonna be a long video, so it will not get that much views. And I'm gonna eat some more hot dogs. And we're not going on yet. And we're going now. Bye.